Now, from the Action 4 studios, Sports Director Clay Williams and Joe Bowling bring you the best in Valley High School football from the week past and for the week ahead. Highlights, analysis, and predictions from all across the Valley. It's time for Sunday Sports Extra.
Hello and welcome to Sunday Sports Extra. Week 8 is done. Week 9 is upon us, and we are here to tell you everything you need to know about what happened and what's still to come. Action 4 sports reporter Joe Bowling joining us as usual. Our special guest this weekend is Eladio Jaimes from the Valley Morning Star. Thanks for joining us, Eladio.
Thanks, Clay. Thanks for having me here.
All right, we've got a lot to talk about. Let's start with last night's big game, and it was a big one for Brownsville veterans who had been looking for a signature win this season. Didn't get one against either of the Harlingen teams, but last night against Los Fresnos, that all changed for the Chargers. Taking on Los Fresnos, and Los Fresnos looking good early on. William Cox, that's 52 yards, and this game is tied at 7 apiece. Now, the Chargers would come back and take a lead on a field goal, but then in the third quarter, it'd be all about Marco Munoz on 4th and 2, gets the big first down inside the 10, and then Adrian Alejandro takes it in for what would be the winning score as Brownsville veterans wins it 17-10 is your final. So let's check out and see exactly what the 32-5A standings look like. With Harlingen South having clinched a playoff spot at 6-0, nobody can catch them now. And Los Fresnos and Harlingen tied at 5-1. Brownsville veterans in at 5-2. And Brownsville Hannah, the only team that can come back and perhaps beat Brownsville veterans at 3-3, but that is a long shot because Brownsville veterans now has only one game left, guys, and that is against Pace. And a lot of what this team has done in their first year of varsity play, nothing short of astounding. You know, we talk about the rezoning and things like that, but I mean, all of this team has been together pretty much for 3 straight years, except for Adrian Alejandro, who joined this year. And what they've built there, what Mark Guest built there, and what David Cantu has continued to build there has been spectacular.
No, it has, and you said it's been going on for 3 years. A lot of people might have seen this and say, well, where these guys come from? They've been playing football for the last 3 years, JV football, but they've been, more importantly, they've been playing together. They've gotten to know each other. A guy like Marco has actually taken on the leadership role and led that team from the JV ranks all the way through into this year. And I talked to Coach Cantu during the week, and he told me we're looking for that signature win. We're looking for that big win against no disrespect to his other opponents, but against the Harlingen South and Los Fresnos, teams that have been ranked, teams that were expected to do well. And coming into this game, I just had a hunch that they were going to be able to do it. I've seen Los Fresnos play twice. I've seen Brownsville veterans play twice. And both times I saw the Chargers play, they lost, but I was very impressed with the way they played, with the intensity they played with the way they hit, you know, with the way they played till the very last second. And I knew that it was just a matter of time before they got that big win. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I was the only one that picked veterans this week. So, you know.
And once again, Joe, you look at the parity in this district. Brownsville veterans beats Los Fresnos beats Harlingen beats Brownsville veterans. It's just like the rest of the Valley.
Yeah, it certainly is. The entire season has been scripted that way, regardless of where you're talking about it. But again, the veterans team, you know, in those games against Harlingen South, you know, coaches hate to talk about moral victories, but they got some. In this case with Los Fresnos, right out of the gate, first quarter scoreless, that set the tone. And again, kudos to the fans that were there. Guys, I saw standing ovations at Brownsville Sam Stadium, and the bands weren't even there, and the home side was nearly packed. So kudos to the fans getting out there and backing this team, and that helped a bunch too.
And we talked about it. Brownsville veterans' only game left is against Brownsville Pace. Then they've got a bye. Now, the opposite way of that 32-5A schedule, Harlingen South, who has their schedule backloaded. Eladio, last 2 games of the year, Bird Bowl, and then against Los Fresnos. The Hawks have their work cut out for them these last 2 weeks.
They do, and one of the first things that like Coach Wilson told me before the season started, he said we have to clinch a playoff before we go into those final 2 games against Harlingen and Los Fresnos. Not that he didn't think that they couldn't beat them or that they would be extra tough, but you know, you clinch, you got that playoff berth already in your pocket going into this game, then it relieves a little stress. You know, you can kind of go in there and play for district title now, which was their second goal. They wanted to get into the playoffs, they got there. And by the way, a great job he's done. They had the talent coming back, right? You know, but Coach Wilson has kind of taken them to that extra level, and him and his staff have done a great job there. So they've accomplished that first goal. And like he says, now we can reset our goals, and they want that district title more than anything.
And both of their games are going to be at Bogus Stadium, even though they'll be the visiting team for the Bird Bowl. Joe, what are your thoughts? How likely is a district title for the Hawks with these last two games?
Well, I think it's very likely now, and one of the key ingredient was that how well did you play in this game leading into this? And so a big statement made Friday night. They weren't overlooking anyone. They went out there. They wanted to score a bunch of points. They did so against the team they were supposed to do that to. And now, they could, like you said, put one goal away. Now you can focus clearly on this next goal, which, by the way, their third goal was probably let's beat the Cardinals this year. So
and there you have it. Let's get right into it. Bird Bowl 20 this week, Bogus Stadium. What are you looking for from this game, Eladio, and who do you think is going to win it?
Well, first of all, Bird Bowl 20, I was in Bird Bowl 1, so it makes me feel a little older, but older, not old. But I expect a very good game. I mean, I wrote about Bird Bowl in my column today, and I was crunching some numbers, and the last 4 games, I think Harlingen had outscored South about 264 to 42 points. It's just been horrible the last few years for the Hawks. South has a very formidable team now. They come into this game going up against Harlingen, knowing that they can win it. I think in years past they came in a little scared, even the fans, not scared but intimidated, saying, "Man, these guys are great. We're just going to try to hang in for a little bit." This team thinks they can win. This team thinks that they can go into Bird Bowl and win it and bring that trophy back to Harlingen South. On the other hand, Harlingen is Harlingen, and they're all like, "Well, we're the Bird Bowl champs." There's been 19 Bird Bowls. They've won 15 of them.
Right.
They're like, this is our game. This is our stadium, and Harlingen is still Harlingen. They're going to go in there. They got tradition on their side. Not that South doesn't have the tradition, but it doesn't compare to what Harlingen has. So, like I wrote in my column, I said, this week you draw the battle lines, man. You pick a side, you pick a color, and pick a bird, and go enjoy yourself at Bogus Stadium.
And you need to pick a team. Who you got?
Like I said, tradition, I think, to me, I learned a long time ago covering the Ned Couch-Porter game. That tradition it does a lot for a team. So I'm going to stick with the Harlingen Cardinals for this.
I was at that Ed Couch-Porter game. That was a heck of a game. What are your thoughts on this one, Joe?
Well, my thoughts are, again, Harlingen South can win this football game. They have the weapons to do so. But in the games that I've seen them play in, they've relied on big plays to occur. And anytime Manny Gomez can take a defense and say, let's eliminate their big plays, I think the rest of the stuff Harlingen does gets the win.
Well, I think Harlingen South not only can win, but will win. You talk about the big plays and stopping them. This is not a one-dimensional Harlingen South offense. With a running back like Jaden Taylor and a quarterback like Sean Montemayor and Nick Garcia, it's going to be tough to stop the big play. I think Harlingen South can score right along with Harlingen, and I think they might. The shutouts they've been throwing have not been against a Harlingen level team, but I think their defense can stop the Cards when it matters. I've got South winning Bird Bowl 20, but we are coming right back on Sunday Sports Extra. We're going to talk a little more about what happened this past week. We've got some great stories to tell you about, including an unbelievable comeback that happened with Edinburgh and Economides. It's unbelievable the way it happened. We've got that, plus Weslaco East just keeps on rolling. It's all when we come back.